Few voices in gospel and Christian music are as comforting and powerful as Reggie Smith's. His voice has been a part of the soundtrack of faith for many people around the world. With every song he sings, he brings warmth, emotion, and deep spirituality. Reggie is not just a singer, he is a man with a mission. Through his music, he has tried to lift others' spirits, guide them toward faith, and offer comfort during difficult times. For many years, he has been one of the shining stars of the Gaither Vocal Band, a group loved for its beautiful harmonies and messages of hope. Fans admire his calm spirit, his kindness, and his ability to sing with such passion. But behind the stage lights and smiling performances, Reggie, like every human being, has faced personal struggles that most people never see. This is the story of a man who went through heartbreak, misunderstanding, and loss, but still chose to hold on to his faith and find peace through his music. Reggie Smith's life was not always easy, even though his voice made everything sound effortless. Behind the joyful songs and smiling photos, he went through a time when his faith was tested deeply. Life threw challenges at him, loss, emotional pain, and public rumors that made him question his own strength. Many fans only saw the bright side of his journey, but few knew that Reggie had to walk through some very dark valleys. During those moments, he didn't respond with anger or self-pity. Instead, he remained quiet, trusting that God would guide him through. It wasn't about fighting back or explaining himself to the public. It was about staying still and letting his actions, not his words, speak. This silence wasn't weakness. It was strength shaped by faith. Reggie's story reminds us that faith isn't proven when everything is perfect. It's proven when everything is falling apart, yet you still choose to believe. That was the kind of quiet power Reggie showed when life tested him. During those difficult years, Reggie made one of the hardest decisions anyone in his position could make. He chose not to defend himself publicly. When people talked, when rumors spread, and when social media started to buzz with stories, he decided not to fight back with words. Instead, he let his music speak for him. He believed that the truth would shine through in time. That choice came from a place of spiritual maturity. He once said that you don't have to win every public battle to have peace in your own home. His silence was not a sign of weakness. It was an act of strength and wisdom. Through all this, Reggie learned that the journey of faith is not just about worshiping when things are going right. It's about holding on to God even when life feels wrong. The storms he faced refined him, making him more compassionate and more real. His experience taught many others that true faith doesn't make life easy. It makes you strong enough to face it. Reggie's marriage to his wife, Ladye Smith, has long been admired by gospel fans. They sang together, traveled together, and shared their ministry with joy and passion. On stage, they looked like the perfect couple, united in love and faith. But what the world didn't see was the pain they carried in private. Years ago, the couple went through a heartbreaking miscarriage that changed their lives. It was one of those moments that make you question everything. Reggie and Ladye had chosen names for their baby and had big dreams for their growing family. When the tragedy happened, their world felt like it had stopped. Reggie couldn't sing for weeks. Music, which had always been his comfort, suddenly felt empty. Ladye tried to stay busy with church work, but inside she was breaking too. They didn't heal together at first. They grieved in silence, each in their own way. That silence created a distance between them. But even though the pain almost broke them, it also became the reason they later learned what forgiveness and healing really mean. As the years passed, Reggie and Ladye continued their ministry. But those who looked closely could tell that something had changed. They were often seen performing separately, and they stopped sharing as many public posts together as they used to. Fans began to notice and whisper. Some thought they were simply busy. Others believed their marriage was struggling. Behind closed doors, they were indeed going through a difficult time. The emotional scars from their earlier loss had never fully healed, and the constant pressure of being in the public eye only made things harder. Fame can be a blessing, but it can also become a weight that crushes even the strongest hearts. Reggie became quieter and more withdrawn, while Ladye focused on her own projects and ministry events. They both loved each other, but they didn't know how to rebuild what had been broken. Many people don't realize how much pressure couples in ministry face. The expectations, the lack of privacy, and the fear of judgment can slowly wear away at even the most faithful relationships. In early 2022, Things got even harder when a short video of Reggie speaking at a church event started circulating online. In the clip, he talked about how church leaders need more humility and accountability. The comment was innocent and meant as encouragement, but some people took it the wrong way. Social media exploded with speculation. Some accused Reggie of criticizing other gospel artists or pastors. The context of his words was lost, and people began spreading rumors that he was angry or bitter. Reggie chose not to fight back. He didn't post any angry responses or videos. Instead, he simply shared a Bible verse from Romans 12:9, "Let love be without hypocrisy. Hold fast to what is good." While many respected his silence, others continued to judge him. The controversy took a toll on him emotionally. He lost some invitations to sing at events, and people started to see him through the lens of that one viral moment. But deep inside, Reggie knew that his calling came from God, not public approval. His quiet endurance became his testimony. After the storm passed, Reggie slowly found his way back to music. But this time, it wasn't for fame or recognition. It was for healing. He began writing new songs from a deeply personal place. These songs were not just melodies, they were prayers. When he released his solo project after the silence, it wasn't to prove anything to anyone. It was a reflection of his own recovery and growth. Songs like "Fix What's Broken" and "Be Still My Soul" spoke about forgiveness, faith, and letting God heal the wounds no one else can see. People immediately connected to the honesty in his voice. It wasn't polished or showy, it was real. Through his music, Reggie reminded everyone that brokenness can become beauty when we allow God to use it. Fans who listened could feel the depth of his journey. The man who once faced public criticism was now standing tall again, not as a celebrity, but as a man renewed by faith and humility. As Reggie worked through his personal healing, something beautiful also began to happen in his marriage. He and Ladye Love started spending more time together again, quietly, without public attention. They attended counseling and learned how to rebuild their relationship step by step. There were no big announcements or emotional interviews, just two people deciding to start over. They began performing together at smaller church events, singing with a softer tone, but deeper connection. Fans who saw them said their chemistry felt genuine and peaceful, as if they had found their rhythm again. The couple also decided to take a break from big tours to focus on each other and their family. They realized that success means nothing if you lose the people you love. Faith, forgiveness, and family became their new priorities. Their story became an example to many Christian couples who struggle behind closed doors, that it's okay to seek help. It's okay to start over, and that love, when tested, can become even stronger. Reggie Smith's story is not just about one man's pain, it's about the reality of human life. Even those who sing about faith and hope are not free from trials. Ministry doesn't protect anyone from heartache. In fact, it often brings even more challenges because people expect perfection from those who lead in worship. But Reggie's story teaches something powerful, that faith is not the absence of struggle. It's the strength to keep going despite it. He learned that silence can sometimes speak louder than defense, and that God's timing brings healing when we least expect it. Through his experience, he showed that you can lose almost everything, your peace, your reputation, your happiness, and still find your way back through faith. His songs now carry deeper meaning because they come from real pain and real healing. They remind us that behind every worship song is a person who has been through something. And through it all, Reggie continues to sing, not for applause, but to honor the God who brought him through. Today at 47, Reggie Smith stands not just as a gospel singer, but as a living message of faith, resilience, and restoration. His story is proof that God can turn any mess into music. The same man who once stood silently in the middle of controversy now uses his voice to inspire others who feel broken. He has shown that the end of something painful can also be the beginning of something beautiful. His journey encourages people to look beyond appearances, to see that even behind the most confident smile, there can be silent battles. But those battles can lead to deeper faith. To truly understand Reggie Smith, you have to go back to where it all began. Born and raised in the heart of Tennessee, Reggie grew up surrounded by music, prayer, and strong family values. His parents were devoted churchgoers who believed in living with humility and gratitude. From a young age, Reggie learned that music was not just about sound, it was about spirit. He used to sit beside his mother in church, listening to the choir and dreaming of one day singing for God. His family noticed early on that he had a special gift. Even before he could drive, Reggie was already performing in local churches and small gospel events. His natural ability to harmonize and express emotion through music made people stop and listen. Everyone who heard him sing said there was something different about him, something sincere and healing. That sincerity became the foundation of his career. Unlike many who chase fame, Reggie's dream was always simple: to serve God through his voice. Reggie's career took a major turn when he joined the Gaither Vocal Band, one of the most respected groups in gospel music history. Performing alongside legends like Bill Gaither, Wes Hampton, and David Phelps, Reggie found himself part of a musical family that valued harmony not just in sound but in spirit. His rich tenor and humble personality made him an instant favorite among fans. But it wasn't just his voice that drew people in. It was his genuine heart. He never tried to outshine anyone on stage. Instead, he blended his voice perfectly, lifting others up. That humility was rare in the music world, and it set him apart. The Gaither Homecoming concerts brought him before millions of fans around the world. Yet even with all the applause, Reggie remained grounded. He would often say that the greatest stage isn't the one with the bright lights. It's the one in front of God when you sing from your soul. That belief kept him centered when fame began to test his humility. Along this journey, Reggie met Ladye Smith, a talented singer with her own remarkable voice and a strong spirit. Their shared love for gospel music and ministry drew them together quickly. When they married, many saw them as the perfect gospel couple, partners not just in life but in faith and art. On stage, they blended their voices in beautiful harmony. Off stage, they shared the same purpose: to use their talents to bring comfort and joy to others. Together, they recorded songs that spoke of God's love, grace, and the power of forgiveness. Their chemistry was undeniable, both musically and emotionally. They often spoke about the importance of keeping God at the center of their relationship. Yet, like any couple, they faced seasons of difficulty. Fame can sometimes blur the lines between personal and professional life. But through every challenge, their connection to God kept pulling them back toward each other, even when things felt heavy. One of the biggest lessons Reggie and Ladye learned was that love and faith are not free from pain. They are refined by it. The loss of their child changed them in ways no one could fully understand. For Reggie, it was a moment when he realized that faith isn't about avoiding pain. It's about surviving it. He found himself on his knees, asking questions that many believers are afraid to ask. Why God? Why us? But over time, he realized that even in silence, God was listening. Through prayer, counseling, and time, Reggie learned how to see purpose in pain. He started using his music as a way to heal not just himself, but others who were grieving. His songs became softer, more personal, filled with honesty. Ladye too, grew stronger in her ministry. She began speaking to women about healing and forgiveness, using her own life as testimony. Together, they discovered that when love is tested by fire, it can come out even purer than before. Being a well-known figure in the gospel community comes with invisible burdens. Fans expect perfection, and the pressure to always appear joyful can be exhausting. Reggie once admitted that sometimes the hardest part of ministry is pretending everything is fine when it's not. He and Ladye had to learn how to protect their personal lives from public judgment. When rumors about their marriage began to circulate, it hurt. Not because they cared about gossip, but because they felt misunderstood. Still, Reggie decided not to respond to negativity. Instead, he focused on what mattered most: his faith, his wife, and his calling. Behind the scenes, he was learning to separate who he was as a performer from who he was as a person. That balance is something many artists struggle with. Reggie's calm and grounded nature helped him survive in an industry that often eats away at authenticity.